So my name is Josh Asbury. I'm the COO of Infinity Software Solutions, and we have with us Forrest Wheeler, who leads our customer support and account management functions here at the company. And we will be discussing the load list today. The load list is one of those features that we've invested in heavily as a company to ensure that it streamlines the way that your team works, to make sure that all the information that you need is available quickly and efficiently. The biggest use case of the load list is really getting things done quickly. And so that goes into some of the core tenets that I discussed during our launch webinar of the BrokerPro 5.0. So to remind everybody, if you saw that before, or if this is your first time seeing it, we have really three core tenets of the company and of the product. We want the product to be fast, which means information should be easy to access, the users should be able to do their jobs quickly, and the system should be just lightning fast. It needs to be secure, and that you as the customers maintain control of your own data. We employ industry-leading security best practices, and your data is encrypted and safe in transit and at rest. Reliable. We expect to have 99.99% uptime. We have redundant systems built on top of AWS. We use a system called Sentry to provide real-time issue alerts and reporting. What that does for us is actually allows us to know you're having issues before you even report them to us. So we try to resolve things before you have to tell us about it. And the Sentry system works really quite well. So regarding BrokerPro's load list, the thing we will be talking about today mostly is centered on fast. So when I talk about fast, that doesn't just mean that the pages load quickly, and BrokerPro does load quickly, particularly for a cloud-based system. It's the technology we use is really second to none when it comes to ensuring that the data is transferred from our servers onto your machines. The code that's written is written in such a way that JavaScript and such is compiled efficiently and effectively. That way you don't have a laggy browser. Everything needs to go quickly. So that's obviously very important, but I also define fast as that you need to be able to do your jobs quickly, that systems should be able to automate routine tasks, and that information from within BrokerPro is easily retrievable. I've seen many TMSs in my lifetime inside the freight world that they can do everything. They're just really hard to use, and they're really difficult to get information quickly. Very difficult to do a check call, to find out the status of the load or change the loads. It can be really, really cumbersome. So the fact that you live and work inside of our load list, that system, that screen needs to automate a lot of things for you. And so we've put in a lot of effort over the last several months to refresh our UI. We were already fast. The system was already intrinsically useful, but we wanted to make it so it was even faster. We wanted to automate actions for you. We wanted to make sure that you could do things in bulk, so you didn't need to click through multiple screens in order to do all that good stuff. And so what Forrest is going to cover today is really just that. He's going to show you how best to use the load list, some of the things that we have done and are in the process of rolling out, like live updates to the load list, so that the screen is a living, breathing thing. So when a team member updates something on one screen, it updates inside the load list, so everybody has real-time access to the current status of your loads. So that and much, much more. So Forrest, I will hand it over to you to present, and I will go on mute and stop sharing.
So you guys should be able to see my screen now. Say, Barb, can you let me know if there's any issues with it?
I can see it, but I'm not the one that matters.
Yes, I'll wait for somebody to say that they can see it to make sure. If one of you all could just let me know. Okay, good deal. So the first thing I'm going to tackle with you guys today is tagging loads for easy visibility. One thing that we added since our last update is the ability to be able to tag your carriers, your customers, or the load itself. So if I click inside of one of these load numbers here on the load list, you guys will see that we have a new button up here at the very top of the load. This is add tag. And so if I wanted to add a tag to this load, I could simply type in whatever I want the tag to be named. Let's just say hot load, for example. And then you can also choose icons down here below that we have. And then you can also set a color here as well. So if I want to make it a custom color, instead of just the default black color, I can come through here and then choose exactly what color I want to make it. So I'm just going to make it red. And then you'll see here at the top, it will add the tag for me as well. So when I'm inside of the load, or you or any agents are inside of the load, they'd be able to see that. But if I went back to the load list, you guys will also see the tags will show up directly on the load list. So this will help you easily be able to just kind of tell on the fly what's going on with this load. And if you hover over the tag, it will also show you what the tag is for as well. But like I was telling you guys, we also have the ability to do it on carriers or customers. So I have a shady tag for my carriers, for example. So any shady carrier, say I can just label it quickly directly from here. And there's a lot of use cases for that. So you can also use it on the customer side too. And it works exactly the same way. You would just click inside of a profile, and there's an add tag button here at the very top. I was going to say this is a drayage mainly customer. And you just hit create tag here, and it would make it successfully, and it would put the tag over at the very top of the customer profile. And it works the same way here. So it would just show up directly on the customer list for you, so you can easily tell what's going on. But what I really wanted to go over today, and what will take a little bit more time to go over, is just some of the changes that we've made to the load list. So we have a lot of functionality, like bulk functionality now directly from the load list that wasn't available before. So if you guys notice here at the very top of the load list, we have these different buttons. So we have the post and unpost. We have our status updates. So these are mainly for check calls or for requesting status updates for your orders. You can also email documents out directly from here or send out bid requests. Alternatively, instead of clicking these buttons, if you needed to, you could just go to any of the loads on the load list. And if you hover over a load number, you can also access that functionality just directly from hovering over a load as well. And so you guys can see these icons here. Say the first three icons, these are for tracking. So depending on what integration you have, this is where you would initiate tracking. So for text locate, you would just click this icon here, and it would take you to the same UI as what you guys were normally used to seeing when it comes to starting tracking. So you would already have the driver's info inside of here if you already entered it in on the load, and then you would simply just hit save and it would start tracking. And the same rings true for MacroPoint or Trucker Tools as well. Now for uploading documents, I can just simply hit the little up icon here on that UI, and it will open up the UI to upload a document directly from here if I needed to. And so I could just click on here, click the document I wanted to upload, select the document type, and call it whatever I want to. So let's just say it's a POD. And hit save, and it would actually automatically just upload it to the load for you. So gone are the days of you having to go in here and go individually load by load and go to the documents tab and then upload it this way. You can simply just do it from the load list now. So it should save our users quite a bit of time on that front. And then we also have the ability to do mass check calls that way too. So if I needed to, I could hit this little check mark icon, and it will add the check call directly to the load. So let's just say, for example, this one right here, maybe it was loaded. And it will ask you if you want to switch the status of the load from here as well. So I could just hit yes and hit update load. And you guys will see now it knocks it off of my available list because now it's actually active and loaded. So it will automatically update from you as well. You don't have to go inside the load and hit save or anything like that. So it will automatically attach the check call to the load for you. And then also another thing that I wanted to show you guys, which I'll dive into this a little bit more here in a second and show you guys an example, but we also have the ability now to be able to see text locate updates in real time as well directly from our system. So if you guys notice on my load list here, I have a text locate column. And so when you get new text from the driver, say this would turn orange for you, and you can actually click and open it up, and you would see the driver's text directly from here. So you can type to them back and forth directly from this UI box as well without having to go directly inside of the load itself. Say it's going to make me enter in a number here. Right name. And then it would shoot the text over to them as well. And you can see here that after I did that, it actually updated the load as well, and it turned green for a second, letting me know that an action just happened on this load as well. But one really cool thing that we've done with this update as well is, like Josh was saying, is that now technically the load list is fully live. So now I'll show you guys this. If I click into any of these loads here, I'm going to half my screen just to give you guys a good example of this. So give me 1 second. Let me drag this out here. And so now you'll notice here on this load, I'm on 14,985, and I have it shrunk down because I'm using half my screen on this laptop. But say, for example, I needed to update something inside this order here. Let's say, for example, maybe I wanted to change the pickup date. So let's say maybe they decided that they're picking up on the 19th instead. I could come down here to the bottom and hit save like normal. Or I could just simply hit enter on my keyboard here. And you guys will notice that when I did that, it automatically updates the load list over here to the right-hand side. So you can see now it switched the ship date for me as well. And so anytime an update happens within the load, now the load list will automatically refresh and it's live for you. So no longer do you have to go through here and hit refresh on your load list any single time an action happens or you come outside of a load after you save. It will just automatically update for you as you and your agents are working through your day-to-day. Let me maximize my screen here and I'll go over a little bit more with the load list as well. Some of this you guys might already know, but I want to make sure that you guys, I do justice for a load list webinar here. So I want to make sure you guys understand kind of the full functionality of it outside of just some of the bulk features that we have added as well. And so, like, say, for example, if you guys ever wanted to modify these headers at the top of the load list, you guys will notice at the top right-hand side, we have a section for your templates. So you can create as many different templates as you want to by just going to this blue box in the top right-hand corner. And when you select it, you can call the template whatever you want to. And the columns that are enabled will be in blue here at the top for you. You also have the ability to be able to reorder these in whatever way that you see fit. And so you can drag these left or right. If you want to disable a column, you can just click off of it and it will put it in the disabled category for you. And then whenever you hit save template here, it will actually automatically update your load list for you. And so now it has those new column headers. There's also the ability for you to be able to search through quite a few of these headers as well. So if you guys notice on ship date or on shipper address here, how there's a little flashlight icon, anytime you see this flashlight icon, you can actually filter through this as well. So if I needed to, I could just simply type in, let's just say, for example, maybe I want to see all my Birmingham loads. And so I can just simply type in the first part of Birmingham here, and it will filter down my whole load list just to that selection. You can also search by, load number, quote number, customer, or carrier here in the search bar above. Or say, for example, if you're at a larger company that has, 10 or 15 agents, maybe you just want to see all your loads and no one else's loads. So you can use these dispatcher or sales reps drop down here, and you can just select your name, and it would filter the loads down just to your loads. So here's just my one load that I have. And then you have full customization as far as what statuses fall into what load tab. So you can access that from your account settings. So if you guys ever make a custom status and you want it to fall inside of a specific category, say we have a section inside of here where you can create new statuses inside your account settings. And so you just hit new status here, call the status whatever you want to. And then you can also associate what category it goes into as well. So if you want to show up in the available tab, you would select open here. But it's a really simple process as far as that goes. You can also associate colors with each of your custom statuses as well. So when you're on the load list, you also have a set colors icon here at the very top. And so you can see these are all the ones I already have selected. But if you needed to change any of these colors, you could just click on the color and then select the color that you want it to be. And then you can also load post through the load list as well without having to go inside the load at all. Let me take care of that post there and I'll show you guys. But on the load list here, there's also a button here that you will notice that before we used to have a posted column, but now it's just a cloud icon with an up arrow. And so if you have a postable load, it will just show up here when you hover over the load number. And you can just simply click on this icon here and it will post to the load board you're connected to. I think my DAT instance isn't working right now, so that one might error out, but I should get something from load board network here if it shows up. So you can see here it actually posted directly to load board network for me as well. Or you can just come to the very top of the load list like I was showing you guys before, and you can do mass unposting and it will unpost all your loads at once. Or you can do quick post and it will just quickly post all the loads that are available right now that you have. You can also select multiple loads to send out bid requests. So like say, for example, maybe I wanted to select these first 3 here to send out for a bid request. I could just hit the bid request button here at the top after I get done as well. And I could hit send bid request, or I can preview it before I send it out. And then you can also request status updates from your carriers or add status updates as well if you need to. And so it will take your selections that you just have on the load list here and say, it will basically send them over a message that's saying, hey, we need updates for these loads. If it's a textable load, it would show up here for you as well. If you had email addresses, it would show up here at the very bottom for you as well to let you know what you're about to send to. But say I'll open up the floor a little bit for questions here. I'll let you guys drive this. Say, do you guys have any questions so far about what I've went over, or anything you guys would like to see more in depth with just the load list or the functionality that I've showed?
So Forrest, one of the questions is there a way for an individual user to change the colors on their list? One of my users changed it thinking it was only for him, but it changed all of our load list pages for the users.
No, not currently. Not currently. There isn't. It's like it's company wide right now. So that's how it works. It's the company wide colors as far as that goes. Now, when it comes to templates, these are all like user based. So you can have as many templates as you want to just for your user. But as far as the colors go, I think the kind of the logic behind it was you want your company to kind of stay coordinated and on the same page. So as far as the load status colors go, they're all the same company wide. That's a good question though, Barb.
All right. Do we have any more questions? We love the questions. We want to make sure that everything gets answered. Oh, good. Here's another. I'm not seeing any other options on my load list aside from uploading documents / adding check calls. Are these new settings already applied to the BrokerPro site?
Yes, they are already applied. Now, some of these options will only show up if you have the integration. Like, so for example, like on mine, the reason why you're seeing like all 3 of these tracking icons here, one's for text locate, one's for macro point, and one's for trucker tools. So if you don't have these integrations, they won't show up. Same thing for load posting. So if you don't have our IPS feature, you wouldn't have the little cloud icon here either. It just wouldn't show up for you. The only ability you would have would be to add documents and to add check calls. You would have those extra icons if you had that feature enabled in your account. And I'd be more than happy to show you how to do it if you'd like to set it up.
As I highly recommend speaking with Forrest about just the different tools that we integrate with. If you don't have them, they things like text locate, Infinity Posting Service, IPS, shoot, even our document management tools will make you much more efficient, and they're certainly worth the additional cost just in terms of efficiency and utility.
For sure, load posting, document manager, especially load posting. If you're manually posting 50 loads a week and you're posting it to 2 or 3 different boards, that's double or triple the amount of work that you would have to do if you didn't have our IPS feature, where you could just simply build it inside of our software once and then post it to all the load boards you're connected to.
Okay, one is if we have trucker tools, I see it isn't available in the template to customize.
What do you mean by that, Danielle? Are you mean like right here when you open it up, there's no ability for you to be able to drag and drop it? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, so we only have text locate there now, and the reason for that is it shows when there's been interaction between the driver and the load, so that again that stuff updates in real time. In real time, we have not done that yet with Trucker Tools, so it's certainly something we can look into.
Yeah, I was curious if she was talking about just the template, because if so, it's just named load track. So it might just be that you're looking for trucker tools instead of load track. Say there's a load track status column here. So look for load track, maybe Danielle, and see if that shows up. But if not, say shoot me a call after this, and I'll be more than happy to help you out with it. But as far as the live updates go, say Josh is right in that. The one right now that we have for the live updates is text locate.
All right, everybody. So unless there's any more questions, we'll begin the wrapping up process here. But I did want to tell you that I just launched a poll a few minutes ago asking what y'all wanted to review next during the next Lunch and Learn. We have 11 people on this call, and we have 4 votes so far. So far, LTL is leading the way. So please let us know what you would like to cover during the next Lunch and Learn. Just like what's coming up in a couple of weeks, you can't complain if you don't vote. So please vote and let us know what you would like to see. Okay, well, it looks like unless anybody else is voting, that our next topic will be LTL and how BrokerPro manages that. So I will speak with the team at Banyan as well to see if we can get them to join, not to do a Banyan sales pitch or anything like that, but just to talk through some of the things that we don't know that their product does. We will show how LTL works, obviously within BrokerPro, how you can get real-time rates from carriers and things like that. But there could be some interesting things that Banyan would like to cover as well. So all that said, unless there's any other questions, we will go ahead and wrap up today's webinar. And I really appreciate you spending the time today with us, and do want to just bring up, if there are things that you would like to have covered during these webinars, email me. It's Josh@BrokerPro. Email Forrest at BrokerPro.com, and let us know. Again, we want to ensure that these are useful for you. We selfishly, we put the time into it. We don't want to be wasting our time or yours during these webinars. So all that said, thank you again for joining us today, and we will see you in 2 weeks.